What's up, everyone? Welcome into the Titans sector. If you're a Titans fan, this is the place to be. The takes are hot, the passion is real, and the opinions are sure to collide. My name is Van. As always, I'm joined by my man Ghost over here. And before we get started today, I want to take a moment to remind everybody to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and we'd love it if you share our content either through social media or otherwise with a fellow Titans fan. We'd love to connect with them. We appreciate you guys tuning in today. We have a very special guest on our pod today from the Titans community that we're really excited to bring on and to talk to her about her experiences. We are going to bring into the pod now our very own Titans fan, Hayley. Everybody knows Hayley very well. What's up, Hayley? Welcome in.
Hi.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
So, Hayley, so many people know you on X, and that's where I met you and know you from, and probably Ghost as well. And I think that just speaks to how genuine of a person you are and how well you treat the entirety of the Titans community. Anybody that comes by you, I've noticed that it seems like you touch their life in a positive way. And that's just awesome, you know. And I really want to tell you at the start how much I appreciate your example and how you do that to the entirety of the Titans community. So, thank you for that. A lot of people that are watching this will probably know you. But with that said, if anybody doesn't know you, tell us about yourself and go ahead. I'll give you the floor.
So I'm Hayley. I born and raised in Nashville. I have 3 daughters. And I'm a huge sports fan in general, but football is like my biggest, I guess. It used to be baseball when I was growing up. My parents literally thought I was going to be like a baseball commentator or something one day because I was like hardcore baseball fan until the like strike in the 90s, you know.
Yeah.
And then it kind of I think that coincided with like me becoming kind of a teenager and getting more into like social and boys and whatever. So I kind of stopped watching as much then, but then when the Titans came to town, I fell in love with football, and yeah, so.
And the rest is history.
The rest is history, yeah.
So who was your baseball team?
The Braves. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yes. So that was kind of my parents and I are we're all Braves fans or whatever, and that was kind of just our first, like, you know, growing up just watching games with them, especially with my dad. My dad's that's where I get my love of sport. My mom loves sports too, but she loves sports because of him. I love sports because of him. But he in high school, he played baseball, basketball, and football. So he was an athlete. He was he's one of the smartest like sports people I know. So I learned everything from him. But growing up watching the Braves with them was kind of, in fact, when we won the World Series a couple of years ago, like I was on FaceTime with them, like the final play of the game. I was like crying, and I can imagine what it'll be like when the Titans win the Super Bowl.
Oh, you're telling me. I'll probably be crying if we're being frank. Big blubbery mess.
Right. Yeah. For sure.
There's going to be
just when we beat the Ravens a couple of years ago in the playoffs, you know, because the Ravens have been such a thorn in our side in playoffs for so long. I literally cried then. So yeah. Anyway,
That's
sorry.
a big deal. That was a huge deal.
Yeah.
So, Ghost, you got a question for him?
Yeah. So you had mentioned like when Titans came to town. So is that what made you become a fan, or was it a certain player, or?
So, I mean, I'm a huge homer as far as like home team. You know, being from Nashville, all the Nashville teams. You know, Vandy and the Nashville Sounds, Predators, NSC, you know, I mean, everything except for, and obviously we didn't have an MLB team, so I was a Braves fan, but so I would have always been a Titans fan, but kind of something cool, I guess, a different reasoning. When I was in high school, so you remember our offensive coordinator when the Titans moved to Nashville was Les Steckel.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So Les Steckel, you know, they had moved here from Houston with the move, and his daughter went to my school, and we became really good friends. And so I learned about a lot of the play. I mean, she was, you know, she'd come in and she'd be like, oh yeah, like, yeah, I was hanging out with Eddie George yesterday, and like have like pictures of her and Eddie George, and like, so I learned a lot from her and and I spent a lot of time at her house. Her dad is literally the like most amazing man ever. Like her whole family is. They're an amazing family. So I think it was partly because of that I just, had kind of a connection to the team outside of just it being, home team. So that, and then of course my parents, my dad always loved football. So once we got a team, then I was watching a lot more with him, and he was teaching me. There was a lot of stuff at that point I still didn't understand. So he kind of would just sit with me and, explain what was going on. I mean, at the time I really didn't even fully understand like first down, second down, third, I knew touchdowns and that was about it. So he really taught me a lot. And yeah, so I think it was a combination of those things and just being from Nashville. So
Well, I
Yeah.
tell you what, when I watched that video that they released of the kid and the parent, and then like go out and like
I
the
know.
fighting,
Yeah.
yeah, guess what? That made me jealous because
Yeah.
I didn't have that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was like, I'm a fan too, but
Right.
you are one of those people. You are like in the
Yeah.
thick of it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It definitely, for sure. I mean, even though I was old, I wasn't, I was, let's see, um, their first year at Nissan, I guess when we went to the Super Bowl, I was a freshman. I mean, freshman in college. So, I mean, I was a little bit older, but still, had that, of course I had the couple years before that when they played at Memphis and Vandy and whatever, but yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, when that commercial came out, man, I was like, in the fields. I'm like, oh, this gets
I-
me.
I'm trying to, it's funny because I have 3 girls, so I don't have any boys to pass on my love for sports. But my I've tried with all 3 of them. My oldest is she does not care. She plays softball. She loves to play softball. She doesn't really like to watch sports. She's a reader. She likes musicals. She likes, just stuff like that. And my other 2, my youngest is still, but my middle one is finally starting to show some interest in sports. Like she was really into Nashville SC for a while with me, and then now she's like, can I go to a Titans game with you? Can we go to a Predators game? So maybe I finally have my,
Your sports
my
buddy?
kid. Yes. So we'll
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, that's always fun. It's always good.
Yeah.
It's like we talked about. I have 4 boys, and yeah, it's cool. It's always good when you can feel like you
Yeah.
have your little partner to root and partner
Yeah.
for.
Yeah. And to
Um,
just pass it on. Like in that commercial,
oh
I
yeah,
want to pass it on to somebody, so
yeah,
we'll see.
that's cool.
Yeah.
So we'll probably dip back into some Titans related stuff here in a minute, but I wanted to bring up a trending topic which we talked about,
Right.
which is I think you would say in the greater whole, it's the Titans fan interactions on X, and specifically one that both of us engaged in. But
Yeah.
recently, Titan Anderson came out, and I think really did a very distasteful video about you,
Yeah.
where he attacked your character and some other things that I won't go into.
Right.
And it felt really out of place. It felt really malicious and kind of just immature.
Yeah.
And obviously, being on social media, we have anybody has a voice, including us truly, and they can do whatever they want with that voice. But you have been, in my experience knowing you, you've been really the focal point for a couple of really toxic interactions from people
Yeah.
like Tommy Callahan, who most of the Titans community has probably blocked at this point. Thank
Right.
God.
Right. Or has blocked or been blocked by.
Yeah, either way, it's
earned
for their
that one.
benefit.
Yeah.
So
Better
I
than me.
wanted to give you the opportunity to talk from a position of what that type of toxic interaction does. Not because I want to bring light to the people who are doing this, but they're going to be seen regardless. But
Yeah.
really, from your side, not only what do you think it does, but I think you handle it with a lot of grace. So where does that come from?
I mean, I feel like, first of all, I'm someone who just gives a lot of grace, period. That's just, I mean, I know how much grace that I've needed in my life. I'm not perfect. And so I think when you realize how much grace that you've probably needed from others, that it's easier to give that. So I give a lot of grace. I also tend to look at the world and people's actions, and not just their actions, but what's behind that. Maybe there's pain behind that. Maybe there's jealousy. Maybe they're going through something, and that's just the way that I view the world. So I tend to not. Now that doesn't mean I'm perfect, and I don't sometimes get a little petty, or that I don't get upset. I mean, sometimes it hurts. I
Yeah.
mean, I won't lie. Like, I'm a human. Sometimes it makes me mad, and sometimes I try to respond with a lot of grace, and then sometimes I try to never attack someone like even in response, I try to never attack the person. I'll talk about the subject that they're talking about, but I try not to actually attack the person. So it's been very strange, and for me, like prior to 2021 probably. I mean, I had been on Twitter for since like 2008 and had like 10 followers because I didn't really interact with people. I was just on there to follow my favorite sports people or whatever, So,
Yeah.
And actually, and I think we'll talk about this later, but the ladies of Titan Twitter was what kind of brought me into it. But then when I started helping people and kind of got this platform where a lot of people knew me, I mean, with that is always going to open yourself up for people who, and again, I couldn't tell you what it is. I don't know if it's jealousy or if it's pride, or if it's what, I don't know. I don't understand. But I would say in both of these situations with Tommy and with Titan Anderson, it was a pride thing. But the interesting thing is like with both of them, I don't really know Titan Anderson that well. I've never really watched his stuff. I've never been a follower, but there was something he reached out to me about like a couple of years ago. He was having an issue with my friend Bryce, who is has cerebral palsy, who I've helped. So he had kicked Bryce off of a live and blocked him and kind of was nasty about it in one of his lives. And then Bryce ended up, for some reason, like months later, brought it up and tried to kind of trash him on Twitter. And at that point, I think Titan Anderson had already kind of like unblocked him, had been interacting with him, had tried to kind of fix it or whatever. And he reached out to me to help with that. And he was like, hey, like Bryce is saying this stuff. It's not true. Like, this is how I make my money. Like, can you help me? And I actually tried to be really understanding because I understand, like, he explained, I think Bryce had was just spamming, which Bryce did a lot. Bryce has gotten a lot better at the time. I know that's that's something we worked on. He had to learn to kind of, you can't just spam people and so I was very understanding. I said, I understand. Like, I understand that on your side, you're trying to do something and you can't just allow something to happen just because he's got cerebral palsy or whatever, like you have, and I was very understanding. I talked to Bryce and I was like, hey, Bryce, like, I think we should just let this go. It's been fixed. This was months ago. There's no reason to keep it hashing out. So I that's literally the only interaction I've ever had with him. So this coming out was crazy, because I was like, we don't, especially because he said something about every time something about her, like, it's drama, especially when it comes to me, or it's talking or whatever he said. I don't know. And I was like I've never even talked about him before, like literally.
Yeah.
It seemed like his video became like an example of a overarching theme that people were saying about the Titans when they have no control over manufacturing and shipment. That's the way I had interpreted it.
Yeah,
he took it personal.
and I was not even. In fact, I didn't even realize when I first watched it. I didn't even like put it together that it was him, because again, I don't follow him and I don't watch his stuff. So it wasn't at all directed towards him. It was in general. It was like the second post I'd seen like that, and so that's why I said something. But I don't know if it was like a pride thing for him. Like maybe he felt like stupid, or maybe it was. And this is what happened, because Tommy Callahan actually said this to me one time too, because I tried to reach out to him during all that and talk one-on-one and tried to talk through things like, hey, let's squash this. Let's talk about it. Because that's I don't want to have beef with people. I don't want, and if I've hurt someone, like, I want to fix it, if I've done something. But one of the things that Tommy admitted to was that a lot of what got to him wasn't even what I was saying. It's everybody else commenting under it. Wow. And that's what got him spiraling. He used those words, like, I spiraled because of these things, and I wonder if the same was true for Ty, because I didn't say anything about him specifically, but people under the post were talking about him and were like, oh, that guy's trash, or that. And so maybe because people were reacting me, or he felt like I prompted them to say that, and I didn't feel like I did, but I got like a fly running in my face. But anyway, so it was very strange and came out of nowhere for me, especially for him to say like I'm always drama with him. Well, or that I'm always drama in general. Like, I mean, I think if you follow me, like he doesn't follow me, but if you follow me, like, I mean, the only drama you've ever seen are those two things. Like, I just don't do that, And when, but also like for him, when the only interaction I've ever had with him was me helping him, something he asked me to help him with, and I did, so it's very strange. And I wish I could say like, oh, it just doesn't bother. I'm not, I don't have like for me to have the platform I do, like I really don't have thick skin. It's gotten better over the years, but it is definitely, things still get to me, they bother me. And I don't like, more than anything, I don't like people to, I worry like when there's things that like that happen, I want to fix it. I'm a fixer, and when I can't fix it, then it bothers me even more, but I have to kind of just let it go and just say,
Yeah, try to be at peace with it.
yeah. And that's hard, because I like to make people feel loved. So if I haven't made you feel loved, then that gets to me, more than what you're saying, like talking about my looks or my character or whatever. Like, I mean, yeah, that bothers me, but I'm more worried about what have I done to prompt this, so.
Well, I think the good part is that anybody that has a sane brain can see that in that interaction, nothing really was prompted,
Right.
just from an outside perspective. I mean, you shared an opinion like everybody does on X, because like
Yeah.
you said, we had seen a lot of complaints about fanatics
Yeah.
throughout this entirety of this off season, to be quite frank,
Yeah.
from their brand to their quality. And I think you had a very fair and valid, for anybody that's seen it or hasn't seen it, a very fair and valid,
Yeah.
essentially comment that was just reposting what somebody else had that had his video in it.
And it was kind of a throwaway thing too. I didn't expect
It was
hardly any like.
You know how it goes.
It's always what you don't expect, Hayley.
I'm telling you. Sometimes it's funny. This is just side note, but like sometimes I'll post stuff that like, and I don't know. Sometimes I do think I'm funny, and I'll like I'll like have this really good idea for like a tweet or something, and I'll spend time like writing it out and like be like, oh, this one's gonna be hit. Like not even that I'm trying to make a hit tweet, but just, oh, this is funny, And I'll post it and get like nothing, and then I'll just post some random thing. There's one. I wish I could remember what it was. There was some random post that I made that was just about, I don't know what it was, like AJ Brown. I mean, it was just, it was nothing. And it got like 50,000 views. And I'm like, how? Like, why? Like, this is literally nothing,
Yeah. Yeah. I think we all experience that to a lot of degree,
Yeah.
because that's what's funny though. It's in the eye of the beholder. But for me to kind of wrap up, and then Ghost, I can turn it to you unless you guys have something else. But for me, like the thing I want everybody listening to this to know is, like I've said this before, but we're all better together. We're
Yeah.
never going to have the same backgrounds, the same life experiences. We all root for the same team, but we're not the same people with the same viewpoints. But yet, when we come together and we can respect one another through disagreements, I think that's when we all
Yes.
are much better. But yeah, just, hey, I have to say this on the pod, is that to me, it was just simply on his part, an attention grab, because I haven't ever been one that has watched his content, but he moved away from X and went to TikTok for a reason. So, there's a lot of people on TikTok where he posted that may not interact with you. So it's not hard to
Right.
put the puzzle pieces together.
Yes. He
but
put it
yeah.
somewhere where people didn't know me, and so that he could get, the comments could be all against
Yeah.
me, whatever.
Yeah.
And he would get that validation. Yes, 100%. Because I even went over, because in that second video he made, he said you didn't tag me, blah blah blah. Which I'm thinking, well, you made a video, but you didn't tag me, whatever. Like, but
Some hypocritical tendencies here.
But he, in the video, he says, if you're gonna comment on something, come over here, come to my TikTok and talk about it. Well, I did. I went over to his TikTok and I commented. Not one word. He has not responded at all. So to me, I'm like, but even still, like I'm the type of person, I give a lot of grace, probably more than I should. Like if he reached out to me right now and was like, hey, can we talk about this? I absolutely would. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would talk it through. We could be cool. Like, again, with Tommy, I tried several times with Tommy to talk about things, and I would think we were good because in private messages we're good, and then he goes on another whatever. So, I've just accepted. I mean, I have to. We all have to accept sometimes that not everyone's going to like us, and I don't even know if these people really don't like me or if they're just, again, if it's just about getting views or clicks or attention or whatever, but I would still do anything for anybody, any of them. They call me right now, need help, I'd help, So
You're better than me. I have a problem.
I mean, I probably, and I have some friends who've tried to like get me to be a little bit tougher and like not be so gracious, but it's just, that's just who I am. I feel like that's who God made me to be. And that's just, I do have friends around me who will try to protect me in those situations, but
Well, the important thing is that you're true to yourself. And I think that what you've described is a great example for everybody that would watch this. That no matter of the outside noise, we're all human. We're all going to have
Yep.
feelings and faults, but being true to ourselves at the end of the day is great. And I think like the old Batman character, some of us are just Two-Face. So,
Yes.
so I'm glad you're not. I'm glad you're not.
I really try not to be. Yeah. So
Ghost, move us on to the next one. What do we got for?
All right, back to Titans talk. So we are going to see who your favorite Titan of all time is and why.
Okay, so I feel like if you followed me for any amount of time, you could probably guess who one is. I have two, but Mariota I will defend that man till the day I die. I think I can't even really tell you why. I mean, I loved the way that he played. I loved his heart, like the heart that he played with. And he was just a genuinely like good person, which is funny because normally the players that I like are more scrappy and stuff. Like it's funny because I'm such a nice person, but like usually my favorite players are the ones that are mouthy and talk crap and whatever stuff. But I just feel like I've just always he just has a place in my heart. Like I just loved him like from day one that he came here, and I feel like he got a raw deal. And we could do a whole pod on that, but we won't do that today. But my other one, like kind of on the flip side of that, is Cortland Finnegan. But what I loved about him was his like chippiness and scrappiness and all that stuff. Like he's I don't know. I loved him on the field. Just the way and I've gotten a chance like to meet him. Like my daughter plays softball with a couple of girls who play with his daughters on a travel team. And so I've gotten to like meet him and even like FaceTime with him or whatever. And he's actually really nice and perfect. He's not so like, but, and then the honorable mention I have to say is Taylor Lewan, because my youngest is actually named after Taylor Lewan. Because when we were trying to find her, when I was trying to choose her name, she's our third girl. We had already used up our girl names, and she was very much a surprise baby. So we had no names picked out, and I went through everything. So I finally started going through. So I couldn't turn Marcus Mariota into a girl's name. So the second on the list was Taylor, and I was like, oh, that's perfect. So she's actually named after him, and I love him too. So
hey, no free shout outs, but he gave us a free shout out on X.
Very really?
Legit.
Nice.
And about Mariota, I think I also like Mariota. But I think one thing that stood out to me more than anything with Mariota is how he handled getting benched. That was like an intense like time for me because I was really attached to him. It was just so kind of sudden.
Oh, I cried. Yeah.
The way he handled it was incredible. He's such a good dude.
He is. And he's handled everything with such grace. It's funny. I'll tell you this one little story that I've had my like opinion of what happened with him for a long time. And even like, if you remember when he didn't play in that win and in game against the Colts, and cause he was hurt or whatever. And everybody was just like dogging him. He's a quitter. He's like, whatever. And I mean, I would argue like crazy. Like I would go on and on, like arguing with people about this. Like I am like, and a couple of years ago, I actually got to meet Delaney Walker and like sit down and have a drink with him. And like, it was me and another friend. And so one of the main things that I wanted to talk to him about was Mariota. Cause you know how they were tight,
buddies.
And that was kind of, that was Mariota's go-to, like that was his safety net, So I asked him some questions about Mariota, the things I'd been arguing. I just wanted, and he verified everything I'd ever said. He verified like, yes, I was like, thank you. It was like the best day of my life. Not only did I get to have a drink with Delaney Walker, but I felt so validated. I was like, thank you. Because he was saying like there was injuries he had that people didn't know about.
Yeah.
They were like one of his injuries, literally, like if he got hit the wrong way, he could have died. Like, so it wasn't just like, oh, my elbow sore, like that's what people thought, so,
His
Well,
leg,
so much of that. Oh, go ahead.
Injury. Oh, no, I was just going to say that leg injury was crazy.
Oh, that was gruesome. Yeah.
Yeah, so much of that happens with these NFL teams that we watch and we love and we root for these guys. There's so much of that type of information that's not given to us.
Yeah.
That we will never know unless the story's told on some E60 after they retire. But yet we act and react like we're in the building on staff,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It drives me crazy. Yeah, it drives me crazy. I mean, obviously, we do what we can with the information we're given as fans, but anyway, I just had to put it. It drives me nuts. There's always more. There's always more to the story,
Always. Yeah.
I have a tendency to hang on to like a little bit too long on. Like I was defending Will Levis there for a little bit. Now, do I think he's better than Cam Ward? Not a chance.
No.
But for that little bit there, when I thought he got a bad shake, he had the injury, he had to deal with Callahan. Like I was like, I don't know if we can just for 100% say, that he was the problem. I mean,
we still can't.
Yeah,
I would agree with that.
We still can't.
No, I agree. Like I still think there's a possibility he could be in a, at least a good backup in the NFL. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot with this team that I think that anyone coming in the last 10 years, there's so much that has been wrong with this team that it's, I mean, really only Tannehill was able to, and that's because but every other quarterback we've had before it was a rookie, or coming in as a draft, he had already kind of been through his stuff, whatever. So I think it was a little different for him coming in. Plus, I mean, he had Derrick Henry and
AJ Brown.
Corey
Davis,
Julio Jones at one point, not that he did anything, but so yeah, I agree. I think there's a lot of things that are it's bigger than just one person, and we tend to just put it on one person a lot,
Absolutely. So. All right, we'll move on to the next one. Favorite Titans memory.
Ooh.
That's a tough one, isn't it?
It's tough. I'm gonna say the year that we okay, I'm gonna say my first, and this is kind of gonna be not probably what you expect, but my favorite memory, like Titans, like being at a game, was in 2017 when we played like the coldest game ever at Nissan. And it was, and if we won that game, we were in the playoffs, and we were playing the Jags. And I was at that game. I was 6 months pregnant. I just got over the flu. I had a sinus infection. It was the coldest game ever at Nissan. It was New Year's Eve. But there was something about being there, like, because a lot of people didn't go, because a lot of people were like, it's New Year's Eve and it's freaking cold, I'm not going. The place was empty. So, but it felt much more intimate, like, it's like those of us that were there, were like, we're in this together. Like, we are freezing, So, and then we won. And if you remember, like, Mariota in that game was just so, I don't know. He kind of let a different side of him come out, and when in that
was
game,
that when he stood up and got in their face? Was it that game?
Yeah. Yep. Well, was that game? I can't remember if that, because there was another time where we played the Jags still getting, but anyway, so it was just, I don't know. It was just a really cool game. And like getting into the playoffs for the first time in 10 years, at that point was fun. So that's one of my favorites memories. And then, I mean, of course there's, I have like the Music City Miracle, or things like that. I mean, there's huge games, but to me, like, sometimes it's more about the experience that I'm having in it, and I think that was just one of the coolest experiences for me.
Yeah, that's a good answer. I totally agree. We had one of our pods where we talked about stuff like this as well, and it's so much about just your personal experience in that moment. We all have the big ones that we love or that hurt really bad. But you guys were the freezing warriors out there that night, so that makes sense.
Crazy, but when we're just all like, I think most people just moved to the lower bowl, because my tickets weren't even down there. But I was just like, no one was down there. So, but we all just were like, let's let's all get as close together as possible. So, I mean, everybody is just like, you can, I mean, I can remember like, you couldn't even see anyone's face because everybody was like covered, you know, so it was just like eyes, you know, all over the place.
It was just eyes and breath.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, I was at the Buckeyes Vols game, the playoff game, when it was really cold, and they came out worked out with their shirts off. It was very cold.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, all you can do is just kind of bundle up because it is. You got to be a diehard to be out in that stuff.
And I was pregnant, and I was like sick, you know.
Yeah, you had some legit stuff happening. Those people at home had no excuse.
Yeah, when she started to say it, I was like, "Did she hear me right?"
So Hayley, you had mentioned this earlier about the ladies of Titans Twitter. And so I kind of want to preface this question because I don't know if it's the fact that I'm a guy or if it's just the fact that I'm in the wrong algorithm. But I think there's a lot of Titans fans that are connected on X that just don't know enough about ladies of Titans Twitter. Maybe aren't connected with a lot of those ladies in a certain way. Maybe don't know the impact that they've had behind the scenes, not only with one another, but with the community or the fan base. And so it's always really intrigued me because I've connected with a few of them. I've seen, you know, what they've done. So I wanted to give you the ability to speak to your experiences with that group and just inform the people that might watch this about it from your perspective, because I think it would be great to hear.
I mean, I'm not exaggerating when I say this, like that, those ladies, that group, like changed my life, you know? And I mean, I know that sounds like cliche or whatever, but I mean, it really is true. Back in 2020, I saw, again, at this point, I had just barely started like dabbling in Titans Twitter. And by barely, I mean, I think I followed Preston Penn and that was it. Because he had like a giveaway, you know, and I think I won, you know? And so like, that's the extent. I still wasn't really interacting with people. I was starting to follow a few more people, but one day a tweet came across my timeline and it was like, hey, if you're a ladies Titans fan and you would want to be a part of like a group chat, you know, comment. So I didn't, and it was from Stephanie, who's the one that created the group. And I saw it. I didn't even follow her. I immediately followed her then and then just said, hey, I'm in. And I think I was one of like there was like maybe 3 or 4 of us, like, you know, that day that's kind of commented. So I was just one of the first that commented. We think she started it a couple days later. It's grown a lot. But in the beginning, there was just a few of us. And it was, there was for like a year, I think none of us had met in person. I think I met Stephanie. She was maybe the only one that I met in person at that point. But we just would talk every day. I mean, I'm talking like that, and we would talk about we'd talk about Titans or other sports. We'd talk about just life. We'd share. I mean, believe it or not, okay, a group chat with that many women, which I think at the height we had like 75 women in there.
Wow.
We have never had drama within that group. Never. Like, which I'm a female. Okay. I know we can be drama. Like, we can be catty and we can be, you know, we have never had drama within that group. Everyone is just really super supportive and it's crazy because some of those ladies have become my best friends, you know, like, they're several of them I talk to daily outside of the group, you know, like not just in the group, but outside of it, that we hang out, like, and we don't just hang out at Titan stuff. We just hang out. Like I've, you know, spent the night at their house or we've, you know, got, you know, just done a lot of different stuff together. And so, but they also are the reason that, because once I joined that, then that opened up a door for me to meet other people in the Titans Twitter community and kind of found new people to follow or people follow me because I was part of that. And then that's what gave me the platform to be able to help people, you know?
Very cool.
And then every time I've kind of helped somebody, that's brought in more, you know, to me, I don't care about followers like for myself, but obviously if I'm going to be able to help people, like I need a platform, you know? And so it really, and through that I've met like now, I mean, even Preston Penn's one of my best friends, you know? I mean, like the bed I'm on right now, like he gave to me. It was his and his wife's bed that he gave it to me when they bought a new bed. So like, I mean, I have just so many, like truly it has opened up a world for me where some of my best friends are now like, so, and that's another thing, like where for Twitter, to me, it's a little bit different because some people, especially like people like Tommy Callahan or Titan Anderson, who have never really met people from Twitter, it's just a place to, but this isn't, it's a real, it's not a fake place to me, because these are people I actually know, like people I hang out with, that I talk to, people who know about my life, met my kids, have helped me through, some things that have happened over the last few years. I had a pretty hard time the last couple of years, and these people have helped me through it, so it has truly changed my life. But those ladies are amazing. Now, I will say, back when we first started, we were much more, I think as a group within the community, we would do these things, like we would make videos, like when Taylor Lewan got hurt, we made a video for him. We would make kind of beginning of year, like hype videos with all of us in it. We did a lot more stuff. We started like hashtags, like for certain different things. And we haven't as much over the last couple of years. And I think just, one, because the Titans have not been good, and that that makes it harder to get people, but also just a change in the group. Like a lot of our OG people, some of them left Twitter when Elon took over, and some of them just moved on to other things, or just and so we're still there, we're still active, the group chat is still lit every day, we still talk in there, but it's but I think we've talked about wanting to get back to more of that, stuff where people can see us and get to know us or whatever, because we there's some just incredible ladies in there, and we have done some pretty cool things together. And when Stephanie won Fan of the Year in 2021, we got to do a lot of cool stuff too. And that was really, I think that's really also what brought a huge at the time a lot of attention to us, because she won basically for starting the group. And we had done so many things within the community like that. That's why she won, for starting this group and kind of bringing us all together. So we got to have we got to go on the field. We got to have a private tailgate where Amy Adams Strunk came to visit with us. They had us a private party on like a Saturday night or whatever at the stadium.
Wow.
Where they fed us, and we won. They'd had raffles, like just free raffles, and I won like the grand prize, which was a signed Derrick Henry signed football. So
that's so cool.
Yeah, it's been pretty cool. So
that's crazy. I appreciate you kind of giving us some backstage insight to that, because I think it's so important. Like as a guy, I mean, this is a male dominated, it's a male sport, the football. I mean, we have flag football now that you see young women getting involved in, which I think is great. But I think we just sometimes lose sight. My wife is a huge football fan. She's not a Titans fan, so we have a house divided. But she's a huge football fan, and I think it's just cool to be able to see, the female perspective of fandom. But that's an awesome. CJ2K has come out today on Instagram and said that he's doing the ice bucket challenge. And so maybe that's something, ladies of Titans Twitter, do the ice bucket challenge.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll put that in the group. I know I just had someone tag me on Twitter, actually, just before I got on. I had someone tag me that they did it, and they're, whatever, challenging me or whatever. So I guess I'll be doing that now. But
you got no choice now.
I know.
You have been chosen.
I think but yeah, I think that would be cool. I hope that we can get back to doing more stuff as a group, and putting and showing ourselves more, and it's a big, like, it's really hard to be a female sports fan, because, and this is not, I know it sounds like you might think, does this actually happen? But I promise you, it actually happens, that I could tell somebody I'm a Titans fan, or I'm a football fan, or whatever. And I'm telling you, it has probably happened to me, probably, I would say a quarter of the time, when I tell a man that I am a sports fan, that they are like, oh yeah, and they start quizzing me on like my knowledge. Like, that's insane, like they'll be like, oh, like, well, what is, like whether it be about a certain player, or if I know the players' names, or maybe it's, okay, well, what is a safety, or what is, whatever. Like, so they'll just ask these questions just to make sure,
Like
like,
you
'cause
got
you
to
can't be a
prove it.
real fan. Right. And,
Don't feel bad because Ghost did that to me when we first became friends.
What I do?
You challenged me on my fandom, asking me questions. Are you a real
yeah.
football fan?
Right.
I'll tell you
It,
what, I think that what you're mentioning
no, no, no.
about like with women and stuff, I think that is a common problem in a lot of things. I mean, I remember going to like a fishing shop with my wife who loves fishing, like she's
Yeah.
knowledgeable about fishing. Some guy come up and he's like, "Oh, hey," like trying to like whatever mansplain this stuff to her. And
Yeah.
I came up and I was like, "Man, my wife probably forgot more than you know about fishing. Why
Right.
don't you get over
Right.
there and we'll get
Yeah.
over there and when we need you to
Yep.
bring us out, we'll get over there."
Yep. It's a real thing. I mean,
Yeah.
and I don't really let it bother. I'm like, I show a lot of grace. I'm, whatever. But it is nice to have, female, like, I mean, I've always had a lot of friends, but somehow none of my friends are into sports. Like, of all the friends that I had like 10 bridesmaids. Okay, like, I have nobody is into sports.
That's a lot.
So yeah, so um, so it's nice for me to have this, to have found these ladies.
Yeah.
So
Well, I think it's really cool about what you said in regards to the fact that on X they're real people,
yeah,
and I think that regardless if we know each other or not, man, that's a
yeah,
great lesson to learn, to treat people, hey, you're a real
everybody's.
person.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, hey, before we get out of here, Haley, I would love for you to give a chance to the audience that listens to let them know how to find you if they haven't
Okay.
connected with you on social media so they can follow you.
Okay. Yeah, so on X, I'm at HeyBay42. I also have a Facebook and Instagram. There's my Haley Thornhill or Haley Bozeman Thornhill. I don't remember what it is, but and yeah, and I'm, if I tell people it's very strange for me sometimes because I will have people come up to me and be like, oh, like they'll stop me on the street and be like, oh, like, are you Haley, like, from Twitter? What? Just very, I'm not like someone who's like that, so it's very
Yeah.
weird for me. But I always tell people, I'm like, hey, like, if you see me, like, I'm not always good because I'm actually kind of shy. Like, so if I'm outside, like, it's very difficult for me to just go up and talk to someone.
Yeah.
Not because I'm rude, but because of me, like, because I don't want to be a burden, or I don't want to interrupt them, or I don't want them to be like, who's this crazy girl or whatever. So I always tell people, I'm like, hey, like, introduce yourself, talk to me, interact with me, send me a message within reason. Sometimes people send messages, as a female, that's the hard part too. Like, I'm not in a looking for that kind of attention, but I'm like, come up and talk to me. Come, I really genuinely do love people, and I love learning about people. I love hearing people's stories. I love connecting with people. I love just, I really do. I love to make people feel seen and loved, especially people who don't get a lot of that, so,
Yeah.
or if you do get a lot of it and you just want to, I'm here. So yeah, come follow me, message me, talk to me if you see me, so.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, thank you for that. Ghost,
Okay.
you got anything for Haley before we head out?
No, I figure, well, I guess I do. So
Okay.
I guess I should mention it since you two are the culprits that got it started. So everybody knows about my poster right here. So
Yes.
it's so funny how random that was. I'd fired off a random tweet like, man, I'm so jealous of those posters. And I'm off doing whatever the heck it is I do. You can never, who knows? Then I get a random message from the Hayley chick. And I was like, am I in trouble or something? What the heck's going on? So that was very cool. So in person, I would like to thank you both because I love my poster.
Well, I'm so glad that it all worked out. So
yeah, it did. It worked out great.
And I love, I really do. I mean, I would really literally do anything for anyone, but obviously sometimes I push to a fault, that I put too much on my plate or whatever. But to me, there's nothing like things like that between, I've had people. It's just like when I was looking for one of those lanyards from I don't know if y'all saw that. And I had
from the Titans event.
Yeah, Paul Kaharski drove to my house and left me his lanyard plus a bunch of other stuff, which is, I mean, crazy. Like, he didn't
awesome.
send someone to go, like, he drove to my house and like dropped the stuff off. So, I think some what goes around comes around. I think, if somebody is needing, if somebody wants or needs something and I can do it, like I try to. So I'm glad that it all worked out, because I think I was going to give it to
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
you got one. You ended up coming in town, so then you told. Yeah, that was another thing, that because he told me that you were looking, and I saw your tweet, so I was like, so
I
it
didn't
all
even
worked
know
out.
Van then, by the way. That was just a
Yeah,
random act of kindness. He was like,
that's so
"Hey,
funny. Yeah, and look at y'all now.
And look at us now. Look at us now.
now." Yeah.
And I'll tell you, I want everybody to hear what you just said, which is Paul Karhowski is a good guy.
Yep.
He's
I
a
mean,
good guy.
he really that actually. So I've met him a couple times. Actually, a couple years ago, or not a couple, like probably 8 years ago. I went to I won a thing on the radio station, and I went to sit in a suite with. It was when they were still on the radio, when he was still on 104.5. It was him and Chad Withrow and Jonathan Hutton, and we got to sit in a suite at a Nashville Sounds game. And he, they just kind of talked and told us stories or whatever. And he honestly, he's a Yankee. And so he's brash, and he's, whatever. And he's trying to make money and trying to get views too. So but he's really not a bad guy, so.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotta watch out for us Yankees.
Yeah, Ohio, stay in your place.
Right. I mean, I'm gonna say a New York kind of Yankee. Like, he is a little different than the rest of the
Yeah. That is a true story. Yeah, the further north you get, a little crazy.
Yeah. Right. But no, he's not bad. And I mean, how many other people would have done that? Like, literally driven, like, even
exactly
saw my tweet and said, here, like, most people would be like, I don't want to deal with that. He not only did that, then he remembered, he reached back out to me and said, hey, I'm going to get this in the mail, ask my address. And then instead of getting in the mail, he's like, you know what, you're close enough. I'm just going to drive it to your house. Like, who, like,
that's great. That's so cool.
So,
I'll tell you what about Paul Karhowski. To me, there's some things that he reports that drive me nuts. Like, sometimes he harps on the Amy Adams Strunk thing, but
right.
I think he's a necessary presence in those media rooms, the way he handles it, because he holds them accountable, which is necessary. It's like what we lack in our media, and he's like the only one, it seems like.
Right. And I think he just doesn't. I think the problem that people have with him is that he doesn't balance it out enough with good stuff, with like positive stuff.
Yeah.
And this is where I think when he was on the radio, it was better, because he was, he had two people who were a little bit, there was a good balance there. But you're right. He absolutely is unnecessary. And some of the things he says are valid and, need to be asked. So
we gotta have it from all angles, don't we?
Yeah. Yep.
Well, Hayley, thank you so much for coming on to the Titan Sector. Yeah, I mean, we really appreciate you carving out some time to be on our show. And I very much appreciate you sharing your experiences and just giving more insight to the fan base. And I hope they tune in and get to know you a little bit better. So yeah, everybody, thank you so much for tuning into the pod. We appreciate you guys as always. Make sure, if you don't already follow Hayley, to go over to X or any of the other socials that she talked about, give her a follow and connect with her. And we appreciate you guys as always. Make sure before you get out of here to hit that like button if you haven't, subscribe to our channel, and we would really appreciate if you share our content with another Titans fan so we can connect with them. You can check us out on X at The Titan Sector, as well as TikTok at The Titan Sector, and our new pods will release every Monday and Thursday at 9 a.m. Eastern and 8 a.m. Central Time. So, as always, thanks so much for joining, and we will see you guys next time.